Hey folks, it's Mike from North Country. Thought I'd put out a quick video on what we do for power up here at the homestead. I think you know that we were using solar, so I'm just going to kind of run through my solar setup for you here. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything like that, feel free. I'm not an expert, so hopefully I've got things set up. It works, so I think I have things set up so I'm not blowing up or anything. So to start out, I've got 4 panels up on the shed here. These are facing, unfortunately, southwest. It works perfect, but they should be facing a little more south, but like I said, it works perfect. And some people swear by south, some people say southwest is fine too. So I got 4 panels. Those are 230 watt, 24 volt panels. Excuse me. So if I walk behind the shed here, I have these panels running in parallel. You can see that I have the wiring coming through the tube here. Keeps it dry, and I've got it running into the shed right here. I've got all the positives and all the negatives there. We'll take a look inside the shed. And I know that you shouldn't be keeping electrical and fuel in the same shed, but I got one shed, so that's what we got. So here's my solar array, I guess. I've got a battery box here. We'll take a look at that. I put a little light in here so we can have a little light. My solar, I've got the 4 positives coming from the panels into this fuse bank here. And the 4 negatives coming into this, just a bus bar there. I've got that coming in for the into the watt meter there. That's for the panels. Tells me what the panels are doing. And then I've got that coming into an on-off switch, which then goes into the charge controller. And as you can see, I've got a Renogy Rover controller. And from the batteries, I've got the positive negative coming into this meter, and then again into another on and off switch. Also from the batteries into my charge controller. As you can see here, I've got some nice thick wires going into my 3000 watt inverter. This is just I wouldn't call it cheap, but inexpensive Chinese converter or inverter, and it's been running pretty good for about 1.5 years. As you can see, my power is at about 25.9, and I can see what I'm at 90%, and that's through an overnight watching TV and having lights on and things like that. So works pretty good. No errors, nothing like that. So if I look into my battery box here, you can see that we have 8 6-volt golf cart batteries. They're running in series and in parallel. So I've got the 4 here running as one series, and I've got the 4 there running as the second series. And then I have them connected parallel, positive and negative. So that I think they're 230 amp hour batteries, and so it gives me about 460 amp hours total. I'm trying this new thing. I don't know if it's working yet. I gotta check the cells, but I got this off of eBay for cheap too. It's just a desulfonator is what it's supposed to do. So it's supposed to make your batteries last longer and work better. Haven't decided on how it works yet, but I'll post something on that later. So I'll check the cells and make sure it's all working. But that's my battery box. This is this runs all winter up here in Minnesota. It does just fine, and we don't come up here that much in the winter. So basically, there's no power going out. It's just the panels keeping the batteries at a charge. But this is my shed. Keep some crap in here, some tools. Obviously we keep some fuel in here too. I'd like to have another shed at some point to get all the fuel out of here. Maybe put a decent floor in here, just some gravel or something. But if we ever need additional power for power tools and things like that, we just run the generator. From the inverter here, we have the plug that goes to the house. So if I use the generator, I just unplug it from the inverter and plug it into the generator, and I've got power in the house again. That's another thing we're going to be doing at some point, is burying that cable. As now you can see, it just kind of runs up through the trees, and you can see it running all the way to the house there. So that's what we do for power, and it works really well. So far, I don't think I've ever run out of power as far as on the solar. In the house, we've only got 3 lights, a TV. It runs the fridge all summer long, and it just continuously runs the fridge, so that's the biggest draw. But it runs the television, and if we need to vacuum quick, I mean, obviously it's not big, so it takes like 3 minutes to vacuum, so we can run a vacuum. And that's about it. So if you guys have any questions or comments on how I have things set up, be polite. I'm not an expert, so just running this stuff for the first time myself. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.